the General Overseer.
And we are the delegators. As we all know, failing to plan is actually planning to fail. Therefore, as a team, we came up with set goals that we wanted to achieve at the end of this program. And using our thinking frame, as we are a thinking school, we're able to come up with these goals. So one of the goals was to communicate effectively. And by doing this, we'll avoid any unnecessary fights. We found out that communicating basically helps us to reach our goal faster.
Collaboration. In this group, we collaborate with each other very well, and we're not going to leave anyone behind. That will carry everyone along. Therefore, we won't leave, like, if you're not strong in this aspect, we'll help you and we'll finish together. We don't leave the others behind.
So the last two goals that we have on board is persistence and having a growth mindset. As we know, one of our habits of mind is actually persistence, and it has to do with perseverance and not relenting. So whenever we find something difficult, we're not going to give up, rather we're going to work towards our goal. Then developing a growth mindset also has to do with developing leadership qualities. We know that this is a leadership training program, and we're probably going to be exposed to new things that we've never seen before. Therefore, we're not going to have a fixed mindset, rather we're going to be open to learn new things. Thank you.
After setting our goals, our team decided that we needed an active game plan to achieve those goals. That's when we came up with the idea of dividing ourselves into our strengths. Here we have athleticism, intellectual, and planning. There are some people who are severely athletic and they shine very well in doing sports, and some other people who are intellectually smart and mindly gifted. And we also have some people who are good at planning and arranging different activities. So when we identified our strengths, different people came up with the ideas of what they are good at, and we're able to divide ourselves here. This helps us achieve the fact that we're not leaving anyone behind, because being able to identify our strengths help us divide ourselves properly into what we need to do. We also use this to avoid unnecessary fights, because if we all are able to do the same thing, it prevents us from arguing about what we can achieve.
Knowing your goal and working together and striving together to achieve what you want. You need to have that mindset that I'm going to do this, and you're not just going to do it, you're going to do it to the best of your ability. That's what we need to do.
My dad always told me something about coordination and discipline. He said that when you're in a group of people, give them the carrot and the stick. The carrot is that you have a time where, okay, you know that this is time for, you have a goal at the end of the day. So when you're working, you know that there's a time for stick, and the stick is work is first, what comes first. If you're in a group of people, you must learn how to coordinate your group members, make sure they are focused on the task. And there's some times where you give them the carrot. And the carrot is, when you're in a group, it doesn't mean that you must not communicate with your group members, you must not stay. You can also have a friendly with them. But then you should know that there's a time for work. And there's a time that you need to, okay, this is the goal and we must be disciplined. So you have the carrot and the stick. The stick is for the time where, this is the work we're going to. You have to go towards this goal. And the carrot is for when you know that you have to coordinate your group members, and this you also can be friendly with them. So I feel like being coordinated and disciplined how to do with the coordination we put in our goals and us knowing our goal at the end of the day. Okay, do for us. Okay, stop there.
Celebrating something very rewarding. That basically means when combined efforts, bring teamwork, combined efforts to see success. So to not discourage your team members, meant to celebrate with them so that they won't be discouraged and start hating teamwork. Because after all their work, you now give them what people work for, the outcome of what people work for, and now encourage them to continue doing better. So I believe in teamwork. They are meant to always celebrate, encourage, and share your rewards with your team members so that they will feel pleased with what they did, and they will actually know that it's a good thing that they did. Thank you.
During the Wild Dogs discussion topics. Basically, we talked about what we're able to see while watching the video on the wild dogs. The African wild dogs are actually a species of dogs which are able to work together to obtain their own prey. We also found out that their success rate is a lot higher than those of known animals like cheetahs or lions who normally hunt by themselves. So we talked about this following phrases. A single arrow is easily broken, but not 10 in a body. Looking at this practically, if you hold an arrow in your hand, when you break it, it's easy to break. But if you hold a bunch of arrows in your hand, you find out that it's actually difficult to break that thing. This further reinforces the activity and strength of teamwork. Now, I'm going to talk on what we spoke about when we talking about the attributes of a dog-on team. And a dog-on team is basically a team that everybody wants to be, an ideal team. We talked about sharing the same purpose for working together. At the start of our group discussion, you can see on the board, we set out goals that we wanted to achieve at the end of this leadership training program. It is always good to have a common goal because you need to have a direction to which you want to achieve. We also talked about taking responsibility for the work we do. We found out that instead of putting faults on other people, it's better for us to collaborate together. And if anybody goes wrong with something, each person is responsible for what happened. So we always found out that taking responsibility for our actions is going to help us to achieve a common goal. We also talked about being multi-skilled. Another thing that we did at the beginning of this program was to delegate ourselves into different groups. Speed or athleticism, intellectuals, and planning. With this division of labor, we found out that we'll be able to achieve our goals faster. So people who have speed and athleticism will be the ones who are taking charge of the activities that have to do with that. People who are also intellectually gifted will be the ones who take on activities about cognitive thinking and activities related to that. And people who are also good with planning and events, putting events together will be the ones who help us to put everything together as we can see it. So, talking about nurturing and developing the young, we found out that no one is left behind, as our motto suggests. We are all dauntless, therefore we work together. Nurturing and developing the young, even though we're all in the same set group, there are still people who have challenges in specific aspects. So that's what we talked about. Then, being focused communicators and being coordinated and disciplined work hand in hand. Without communication, there's no teamwork because each person needs to understand everybody's point of view. Being coordinated and disciplined and celebrating success and sharing rewards. So being coordinated and disciplined, self-discipline is very, very important, but also teamwork and discipline work hand in hand because without discipline, you'll not be able to achieve your common goal.
Moving up, guys, moving up. Oh, they are still thinking about it. Good energy. Let me see the good energy. Alright, next person. So go to your seat.
How do you take your right foot sideways? You want to stretch your legs, stretch your
Stretch your leg all the way to the end. Okay, now you are straight. Now, left. Move back and left. Yeah, stop. Now shuffle back. Shuffle left. Now stop. I want you to take your left leg and take long forward. Longer. Now come down slowly. Now put your right leg exactly beside it. Now I want you to take another left forward. All the way as long as you can. Which leg? Left. Stop.
You don't allow this last person.
Put it back. Return it. Sorry. Now use your right. Jump forward.
Well, you tried.
Left or right? Left. Right. Moving forward. The right side. Okay, now lift your right leg. Lift it up. Now moving forward. No, to your right. Jump it. Okay, now left leg. Forward. Jump it.
Okay, something.
Alright, time's up.
Time's up.
Time's up, guys. If you are not sitting there, then I count 1 to 10, then your group is out.
So look at that.
No. When you throw at the system, then we'll not add the middle one. Don't worry, even if it falls now.
We brought ideas together. Just to make ideas together and work both and efficient. We were able to think of this thing instead of doing nutrition. Like everybody was independent. And we worked independent. But I feel like we were able to separate ourselves to do a particular task. And we're all working towards the same goal.